Hey there, it's Mitzi. Welcome to my channel. Today I just wanted to give you an update on what I've been reading. So this update is actually a week late. I have a couple of books that I read at the end of August that I want to talk about since I haven't talked about those. And then I have some that I've already read for some of the challenges I am participating in during the month of September. So I have several things to talk about and I hope I can remember them all. So the first book I want to talk about is one I checked out from the library. So I'll just put in a picture here. I've already returned it. I think this one was published in 2021. I think that was the publication. And this was called The Last Bookshop in London. This was a great book if you like historical fiction. It's set during the London Blitz in World War II, and I like those. I know a lot of people say that the World War II books, it's like an oversaturated genre, but I enjoyed the World War II books, and I really liked this one because it was a book about books. And if you like books about books and historical fiction, you might want to pick this one up. I've heard other people talk about this one, so you may have already read it. But I really enjoyed this one. I thought it was a great one for a historical fiction. It was about a girl who, she gets a job in London, and it's during this time of turmoil with the bombings. So it's already a dangerous time. But she has this idea of, what kind of job she wants, and it's nothing to do with books. But her landlady gets her this job with a bookshop owner. The bookshop owner, by the way, does not even want her there. He knows where his books are, and it's just, scattered books everywhere. And he's just like this grumpy old guy who doesn't want anybody around kind of thing. Don't mess with my stuff. So I found him an interesting character too. But when she does get this job, she starts organizing the books and things, and she meets different people through the bookshop. What was great about it though was in the beginning she's not a reader, but then she falls in love with books in the process. So I really loved this one because it really is one of those, I love found family communities type books. I find those to be heartwarming. Yes, this is a devastating book because it's World War II and some really sad things happen in this book. I'll just say that up front. But it is still heartwarming and full of encouragement and hope. And I love those kind of historical fiction. So I absolutely loved it. And if you're watching this, you probably would love it too, because I'm sure you're a book lover and love literature. So I think you would enjoy this one, and I highly recommend it. So the next one I read, again, was a library book, and I've already returned it, so I'll just put a picture up. It's called Her Royal Spyness, and this was published in 2007. This is the first in a historical mystery series set in the 1930s. I read this with Glenda. Thank you, Glenda, for reading this with me. She is a great buddy reader, and we love just chatting. So she doesn't always read the same books that I do, but she does follow my channel, and so we'll chat every now and then about books. So we decided to read this one, and I'm glad I picked it up because it's one that's been super popular in the cozy mystery genre, and I do love historical fiction, of course, 1930s, so this was a good one for me to try. This one is about Georgie. What's interesting about it is Georgie is like, I think, the 35th down the line to the throne. So she's way down the line, but because she's royalty, she's not expected to get a real job, and she needs money. She's broke and she needs money. So it's interesting, the little job she gets. It's really a hoot at the beginning how she tries to be a maid and she learns how to do some things, and it's just funny how that goes. But of course, a mystery ensues. I did enjoy this. I loved the humor. I loved Georgie. I loved her brother. The characters were interesting, and I thought I had solved it. I told Glenda, yep, I know who did this, and I hadn't solved it. So I did like the mystery and where it went. The only problem I had with this one was her friend Belinda, who was just a little too free for me. She was too much of a free spirit for me. She just wasn't a good influence on Georgie, and she wanted her to do things that I didn't think she should do, which Georgie didn't do the things she wanted her to do. But I don't know, I didn't like the way that she was so flippant about some things, and it kind of took it down for me. But other than that, I really did enjoy the first one, and I do have the next one in this series. I can't remember. I had found it at a library sale. So I am going to try the next one and see. But I did enjoy Georgie. I loved the premise. I loved, 1930s. And that she was royalty, but so far down the line that it didn't matter kind of thing. And the struggle with that. So the next one was another buddy read with Glenda. We just kept going because I had a couple of mysteries I wanted to read. And she was willing to read them with me. This one kicked off September. And it was perfect to start my September reading. It's called Apple Cider Sleighing. And this is, I think it was published in 2019. But it's perfect for this time of year. Now it does take place at Thanksgiving. You can see Christmassy things on the front, but I feel like it's a great fall read because it is set on an apple orchard in West Virginia. There is a sweet old granny and there are kittens and their names are Kenny Rogers and Dolly. You can't get any better, you can't get any cozier than that. This is truly what a cozy should be for me. I loved it. And so I highly recommend Apple Cider Sleighing. I think Glenda enjoyed it too, but I think I enjoyed it more than Glenda did because this is what I love in a cozy. That down-home country feeling. There are recipes in this one. It was just perfect for me. And so I can't wait to pick up the next one. Let me know if you've read this. I think there are a couple more already out in this series, so I'm going to definitely continue this one. So the next one I picked up was Chronicles of Avonlea by Lucy Maud Montgomery. This was published in 1912, and it's a short story collection, and they are all, it's kind of like a spin-off of Anne of Green Gables, so it's just more short stories about that community. I loved this. This is one of my favorite short story collections so far by Lucy Maud Montgomery. These were all heartwarming. They were kind of connected as you went along. They were about friendship and forgiveness and just all the heartwarming, cozy things that Lucy Maud Montgomery does so well. Great characters as always. And these were perfect readings for me. So I highly recommend this one. There's a second one called Further Chronicles of Avonlea, and I've got it, but I want to pick it up as soon as possible and just keep going because I really enjoyed this collection. During the month of September, I'm participating in several readathons and challenges, including Series September, and I think I fulfilled at least 3 prompts. I'll put the board up and have where I fulfilled things on the bingo board here. But I have read so far that are series By the Light of the Study Lamp. This is the first in the Dana Girl series. And then I read the first in the Nancy Drew, The Secret of the Old Clock. Now, I have a group read going on right now on Voxer. We're having a great time talking about this book. I finished it, but we're still talking about it. So I will do a complete review of this book later on, but I don't want to do that till everyone else has finished reading it. But those two are series books. And then I read Chronicles of Avonlea. This is a duology. So this one counts for a series. And then also Apple Cider Sleighing is the first in a series. So I have already read several books for Series September. I don't know that they'll all fulfill a prompt, but I am going to try to concentrate on reading as many of the series that I'm trying to read as possible in September. So I'm excited for that. Her Royal Spinus doesn't count because I read that in August, so that didn't count for this readathon, but still I was glad that I picked that one up because I've been wanting to read that one for a really long time. I'm also participating in 30 books in 30 days, and I decided to read short stories for that. So the Chronicles of Avonlea will work for that, and this had, I think, 12 short stories in it, and I pretty much read like 2 a day or something. And then I also picked up Tales from Silverlands, and I've read a few of these too. So I didn't necessarily read just one short story a day because both of these are super short, but I did try to read at least 1 a day. Most days I read 2 and sometimes even 3 of these a day, again because they were just a couple of pages each. There wasn't that much to them. But I'm really enjoying doing the 30 books in 30 days challenge because I do love short stories, and so I plan on every day reading at least 1 short story. And if I can use some of these, this will help with series 2. And then I also wanted to mention one other readathon that's taking place during the month of September. It's the Charming Autumn Readathon. So if you love cozy, you will love this readathon. I'll link it below, but Ellie over at My Cozy Chronicles. She's hosting this one. So I've been picking up some things to go along with some of her prompts. She has several prompts, so again, go check out her announcement video that I'll have linked below. But one of the challenges was to just pretty much enjoy the charming coziness of the fall season. So I decided to pull out a poem for every autumn day, and I've been reading some of these. These are really great poems. They feel like middle grade poetry. So they're nothing that's going to be way over your head or complex, but they do celebrate all the wonderful things about the autumn season. So I highly recommend this if you've never picked this one up. I'm also pulling out some fall magazines because that's one of the prompts to just, have those around and peruse through those throughout the season. So head over to Ellie's readathon announcement if you are interested in a charming autumn readathon too. So those are the books I've been reading. Let me know if you've read any of these, and let me know if you're participating in any special readathons in September too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.